Hello, my name is John Maloney, and welcome to Blindful Communication, where blind plus mindful equals blindful. So I've been gone for a little bit. I was not feeling too well last week, but I'm hoping to play catch up this week and do a video or two. So this video is going to be on things not to do if you want to live a more mindful life and communicate more mindfully. And the reason I came with a not to do list is I was listening to some stuff on Stoicism, and they suggested to create a not to do list. So that's why I decided to do this as well. But first off, again, if you like what you see, click the subscribe button as well. I'm needing income. So I'm kind of doing these videos in hopes of generating some income for myself. So I'm going to, put my GoFundMe link in the description. So if you can donate, please do. If you can't, that's okay too. But feel free to share this link in this video with everybody. So before we start again, we're just going to do a bit of mindful breathing to start with. I'm going to use my singing bowl just to kind of keep us on track and just something for people to focus on. So if you want, soften your gaze, close your eyes, whatever works best for you, and just kind of do some deep breathing. Maybe you can do the box breathing like we talked about in previous sessions, which is breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. So I'll do that with you. So breathe in for 4, hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, out for 4, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, in for 4, hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Now I'm just going to breathe silently and let you do some deep breathing yourself as well. So let's just do it together. One more time. Sorry, that may have been a little bit faster, so my apologies. I have my cat here again. She likes the sound of the singing bowl. So I guess what we're going to do now, we're going to just talk about some of the don'ts to do. Again, if you want to live a more mindful life. So the first one is don't interrupt or don't listen to respond. So let someone finish when they're talking. I know sometimes we try to think of a response while someone is talking. However, when you think of a response, you're not listening, you're not being mindful of the person, and you might miss important details. You might miss their tone of their voice, a feeling they're trying to communicate. Those people who can see, you might read nonverbals. So again, just listen. Listen to what they're saying. And in fact, I would even say after they're done talking, take a bit of a pause before you respond. So next thing, don't seek perfection. I'm not perfect when it comes to mindfulness. No one is perfect when it comes to mindfulness. So again, don't seek that perfection. Just try to be consistently mindful. So 3, don't hide behind politeness when authenticity is needed. When you're mindful, it means being honest in the moment. Sometimes it's awkward. If you think you're going to say something that's a little bit awkward, what I do is I'll say, I'm not really sure how to say this. I might not be perfect, but are you okay if I share my thoughts? So really part of that, and this is a coaching technique, we call it asking for permission. So ask for permission if you think that something you're going to share is going to be awkward. And people will appreciate that. And sometimes people might say no, I don't want to hear it if it's awkward, which is cool too. But again, at least you ask for that permission. And again, you're keeping yourself in check as well. So number 4 is don't bypass emotions. And what I mean by that is if something feels messy, let it be messy. Don't say, oh, it's all good, it's going to be all right, if it's not all good and if it's not all right. Again, that authenticity, that honesty when you're speaking is really important. Even if some emotions are tough to deal with in the moment, and it's okay to say, look, these are pretty tough emotions I'm dealing with. I'm feeling a little bit angry right now, feeling a little bit disappointed. I need a bit of a breather. Can we stop for a minute and just kind of sit here? Or if you need to take a longer break, say, look, I need to take a break from this conversation right now. I really want to be able to hear you. Right now, some thoughts, some emotions in my head are kind of getting in the way. So can you give me a bit of time? I might need 5 minutes. I might need to come back to this tomorrow, whatever you want to say. But again, it is about being authentic. So number 5, don't use mindfulness as a quick fix. Mindfulness is not a quick fix. You can't decide, I'm going to be mindful 1 minute and not mindful the next. Mindfulness is something that gets better over time. Mindfulness is something that needs to be practiced on a consistent basis. Not even a regular basis is cool, but consistency is important. Some people might think regular basis once every couple of days, once every 3 days, but no, you need to practice mindfulness consistently throughout the day whenever you have an opportunity to, whether it's before a conversation, hopefully during a conversation, after a conversation. Again, you can do things like mindful eating, mindful walking, whether it's the mindful walking is from one meeting to another. Again, paying attention to those steps as you're walking, focusing on what what the meeting is going to be about so that you're present. So again, mindfulness is not like one of those quick fix solutions. It's something that gets better over time. But again, not perfect, but better. Number 6, don't fill every silence. When I was doing my master's program and I was doing a coaching for leadership course, one thing that we learned is silence is golden. Silence allows people to process information. Silence also shows that people aren't listening to respond. Listening to respond, react, whatever word you want to use. But they're listening for content and they're taking a break to process. You don't have to jump in and again answer a question right away. You can take that time to pause. You can take that time to be silent, because sometimes we all need to process information, and silence is a good way to do that. Don't make everything about you. That's the next one. Do not make everything about you. When you're in a conversation with somebody, it's we, not me. And that's the best way I can say it. A two-way conversation is about people sharing both of their experiences. One thing I learned is in the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is understand before you want to be understood. So understand the other person first. In fact, I would even say that at the beginning of a conversation, especially if it's a difficult conversation, let it be about them for a little bit. And then let it be about we, never about me. And again, even if it's just like, hey, how you doing? Even if it's like a social gathering, I'll say this, people enjoy talking about themselves. And that's not a bad thing. I don't mean it as an offensive thing, but people love to talk about themselves. So listen, show that you're interested in them. If someone says, oh, how's your day? You might say, oh, my day was good. How was your day? And then they might say, oh, it was a fun day. And you can say, so what was fun about today? What was something exciting you did today? Take it back to them. Again, understand before you want to be understood. Number 8, don't ignore your body signals. So if you're in a tough conversation and you feel your shoulders tensing up, if you feel your gut kind of churning a little bit, don't ignore those. That's your body telling you something. Whether it's telling you this is a tough conversation, that might be your body telling you, oh, I really want to react right now. Listen to your body and what it's trying to tell you, and then respond versus reacting. And alternately, your body might be telling you something good, like, oh, this is really exciting. Lean into it when something is exciting. Lean into that conversation and, let the person know, oh, this is really exciting what you're telling me. I want to know more. Tell me more about this. Right? If your body is, the whole, I want to get away right now. I can't have this conversation. Maybe it's too overwhelming to have a conversation right now. Maybe it's too overwhelming. My apologies for my word diarrhea there. Anyways, yeah. So listen to your body. Don't ignore what your body is trying to say to you. That is part of actually somatic work, is really being in tune with your body, because sometimes your body can almost trigger a reaction versus a response. And again, remember, you want to respond versus react when you're having a conversation. Number 9, don't expect your perspective is the only valid one. I remember having a conversation with my grandfather once, and we were just having a conversation about perspectives. And he says, when you're talking to someone, there's 3 perspectives. There's your perspective, there's the other perspective, and then there's the truth. And that really stuck with me, because we're going to remember things based on bias. We're going to hear things based on bias. And this is where being judgment aware comes in as well, like we talked about before. You have your perspective. It might feel true to you, but it doesn't mean your perspective is the only one. And I would suspect more often than not, and I'd say almost always, when people share their perspective, it's true for them. Now, sometimes people just like to be the devil's advocate, things like that, but you'll kind of sort that out in the conversation. But really remember, by default, their perspective is just as true as your perspective, especially when it comes to difficult conversations. And again, that's why we talked about, before, about sharing observables, like, this is what I saw, this is what I heard, this is what I smelled, this is what I tasted, whatever, this is what I touched, things that are observable. And even then, right, you might have observed something, they might have observed something else. Another thing I want to talk about is, I remember once we were talking about perspectives, me and a team leader. And I told her to come over here for a second. And we were by a big windows, front room window. And I said, look outside. And then I was standing by this one, I could still see a little bit. And I was standing by her looking at outside as well. I said, I can guarantee you we're seeing a lot of the same things, but there are some things we're seeing differently. And I said, even if I were to see perfectly, there would be some things we're seeing differently, because I'm looking at it from a different angle than you are. But it doesn't mean you're wrong in what you're seeing. It just means we're seeing different things. And that's something that kind of stuck with me as well. So, yes. Now, number 10, and I would say this is really important too, is don't use mindfulness as a weapon. Don't tell someone, oh, you're not being mindful right now, you're not being present. Don't throw jargon at them. It's not a weapon. Mindfulness is a tool for good, let's say. It's not a tool for bad. Because I can guarantee you that, and I'll speak for myself, there are sometimes in a conversation I'm not mindful. There are sometimes in conversations where even the most expert mindfulness practitioner is not mindful. Don't use it against them, but maybe use it as an opportunity to say, look, I'm not feeling very mindful right now. I need to get focused a little bit. Do you mind if we can focus together? Do you mind if you can help me focus in on this conversation? Use it as a tool to connect. Don't use it as a tool to disconnect. Because again, especially when you're practicing mindfulness, if you use it as a weapon, people are actually going to start hating the word mindfulness. It's going to bring up negative feelings for them if people are using mindfulness as a weapon. Because remember, again, mindfulness isn't about perfection. It's about practice, practice, practice. And yeah, so those are the top 10 not to-dos when trying to live a more mindful life and communicate more mindfully. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I got a bit tongue-tied here and there, but that's just me being natural. I don't use scripts. I have a bit of a checklist on a Word document that I kind of scroll through as we're talking. That's how I do things. So so again, if you can donate to my GoFundMe page, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to put it in the description of this video. I'm also going to edit this video with Smooth Talker, so hopefully it comes out nice. And I'm probably going to do another video this week as well, hopefully today or tomorrow, just because I want to play catch up, because I was kind of under the weather last week a little bit, and just also focusing on some other things as well. So I'm excited to say I'm almost about 90% done developing a workshop on organizational culture and how to embed positive organizational culture into your organization. So if you want to find out more about that as well, you can email me. My email address is john, JOHN, at blindjohnny.com. So JOHN at BLINDJOHNNY.com. You can email me at john@innerventions.ca as well. So john at INNERVENTIONS.ca. And you can visit my website at that same interventions.ca. And until next time, I hope you guys have a mindful week. But more importantly, have a mindful day. Have a mindful moment. And hopefully several mindful moments throughout the day. And remember, blind plus mindful equals blindful communications.